Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from CNBC. Now this was published on December 20th and it's written by Magdalena Petrova. The funny thing is this is in their tech section and this should actually get more attention than what it does, because the story in a way says a lot that it's not directly talking about. And that's why I am getting into this here. This robot picks a pepper in 24 seconds using a tiny saw and could help combat a shortage of farm labor. See, they don't want to talk about the fact of why there is this shortage of farm labor. One reason for it is because you have a situation where the people who are coming to these countries, like the United States, for example, like from this, across the southern border, they don't want to do the fucking work. They don't even want to do it. And part of it is because they feel fucking entitled. And the wages don't suit them. Okay? And another thing is you have these farmers, especially the industrial farms, that exploit the illegals on this note. They pay absolute fucking... They want to pay absolute fucking shit because they want to pocket as much money as possible. Oh, excuse me. It used to be when these farms, like in California and, other parts of the country where these migrant workers would come, a lot of them were family owned. They were individually owned. They weren't corporate farms. And they understood that, hey, got to pay at least, a certain reasonable amount of money to get people to do these work, these jobs. I mean, hell, I actually, when I was in high school, kids that I went to high school with went to Maine and picked fucking potatoes and made decent money doing it. I mean, they were getting paid by the bushel. The harder you work, the more money you made. But they made decent money, especially for, a kid that age. But yeah, for like someone 18, 19 years old. So, I mean, you have this situation where they don't want to do the work. Crowder, with his undercover shit, Steven Crowder, went and exposed day laborers for their shady fucking shit. They make bank, okay? They'd rather do that than go pick fucking veggies and shit. So now you have technology to come in and take the place, and part of the reason why it is because these industrial farms do not want to pay reasonable wages for labor. They would rather, find a way to pay them jack fucking shit. And what's funny is in Europe is where this is actually being developed, which goes to show these people that they're saying are fleeing from the third world, like the Middle East and North Africa. They're trying to claim, and like Pakistan, they're trying to claim that these people are fleeing, are fleeing, persecution, or in most cases they're migrants. They're here to come and get a better life. Well, they don't want to work, period. They'd rather collect free fucking shit. I mean, hell, you've actually got a video of one of these migrants in a pretty nice fucking car joking around, cracking a joke about how, the Swedes, how the Swedish people are fucking paying for all of them to be living for fucking free. They don't want to work. So that's what leads to this shit, because you get people who don't want to do the work and you get people who are paying shit for it. So of course it's going to lead to robots. But anyway, let's get into this article here, because I mean, it is kind of interesting how they've come along with this technology. I have to give them credit for how they managed to get this to be as accurate as it is. I mean, let's watch this real quick. It looks at the pepper, and yeah, boom, it just cuts it. So, but yeah, we'll get into the article here. Farming worker shortages are getting worse. In a survey by the California Farm Bureau Federation last year, 55% of the 762 farmers surveyed said they had experienced employee shortages. That's why researchers are now trying to tackle this problem with robots. Well, how about you offer more fucking money and, maybe you might get more workers. It's the whole idea of supply and demand. Offer more money, you get more workers, who are willing to do the job. Real simple. Researchers from Europe and Israel have built a robot that can pick ripe peppers in a greenhouse. The prototype, called Sweeper, is backed by the European Union as part of its Horizon 2020 innovation program. So it looks like the EU understands that those people don't want to be picking peppers, that they're letting, just run roughshod all over, Western Europe. But hey, we'll have machines to pick our peppers. Well, they sit on their asses, and you native borns fucking bust your ass and pay shit tons in taxes so they can. To do its job, Sweeper uses a camera that can recognize the color of a pepper. Computer vision then helps the robot decide if its fruit is ripe for picking. If it is, Sweeper uses a small razor to cut the stem before catching the fruit in its claws and dropping it into a collection basket below. I mean, technologically, you gotta give credit where credit is due. This is pretty freaking cool. I mean, now mind you, if you look, they just took a basic robotic arm, slapped this on it, and call it a robot. But basically, you have a setup here that, as it gets better, will be able to do this. Part of the reason why they say it takes 24 seconds is because they got it running slower for safety, but I'm sure they don't want it fucking up, because right now they're still working out bugs, and they also, especially when they're showing it off, don't want it to screw up. But yeah, this is something that you have to go, hey, really cool. But then you look at the reason behind it and go, yeah, they don't want to deal with supply and demand, so they would rather, find an automated way to take care of it. And like they show you here, like further on, they talk about 61% accuracy. So, it'll get better, but right now it's not practical. So pay a little more, and until it becomes practical and you can say fuck you to all of the workers, until that point, just do it. Just pay them more. It's called supply and demand. To pick a single pepper takes about 24 seconds, though the researchers say they purposefully slowed down the robot's movements for safety reasons. It's more like, I'm guessing, so it doesn't fuck up because they're showing it off. But yeah, Sweeper is also equipped with LED lights so it can work regardless of the time of day for about 20 hours per day. That could technically work 24 hours a day, but yeah. Still, the robot is far from perfect, with only 61% accuracy in picking ripe fruit. See, this is the thing. They are developing this stuff because farmers don't want to pay more, which has created a work shortage. They can put out one lump, one lump chunk, one lump sum. It could be substantial, but nonetheless, one lump sum, have a robot, and replace, once they work out the kinks, which I'm sure is why they've got the 24-second timing thing, but once they work out all the kinks, it could replace multiple workers. It's a situation where, and they're still saying, well, we need to let these people in. They don't want to do the work for the money that's being offered. They would rather go, do shit like day labor at Home Depot because they can, collect cash, keep their anonymity, and make way more money. Sweeper is not the only harvesting robot out there. Argobot is testing a machine that picks strawberries. Green Robot Machinery has a cotton picking robot, and Israeli startup Metro Motion is working on a tomato picking bot. Yeah, all these things that have been labor intensive, or at least have needed some form of labor because there's some automation with some of these things, like cotton a little bit, but not that much. It's still labor intensive. It's not like the days of, when you had to handpick every bit of it. They actually they have machines involved, but there's still humans that need to be there. Now they're looking to work the humans out of it. Tomatoes is going to be interesting. I don't know how they're going to have a tomato picking robot that isn't going to bruise them. I don't see it. They're going to have to pick them green and let them ripen off the vine. At least that's what I would think. The strawberry is very delicate, and they've had issues with that. I remember seeing something about that. And great idea, but I don't know how well it's going to work in practice. They're going for these things that need human intervention for a reason because they're delicate. If they master that, the other ones are just going to be a lot easier to accomplish. The ones that don't necessarily need that care. Something like a root vegetable, for example. You can be a lot rougher with that. But yeah, this is literally automation being driven by the fact that farmers don't want to pay a wage that will attract workers. I mean, that's what it comes down to, because, you know, these type of picking jobs and that aren't known for being well paying. But I'm guessing they're even lower paying, you know, with inflation and everything proportionately than what they've have been traditionally. According to Market Research Engine, the agricultural robots market is expected to reach $75 billion by 2025. That's right, billion. That's a lot of money. And that's going to end up creating this mass exodus of labor from farming, from like picking and stuff. That's going to have to transition to some other role. It's going to make things interesting for sure. And watch, I got a feeling vegetables aren't going to be any cheaper. I really do. They'll probably be the same price or more expensive. Because got to maximize those profits. We got to gouge as much as we can. The creators of Sweeper hope the robot will not only help counteract the farming labor shortage, but also reduce food spoilage. I don't see how that'll be the case, but all right. I mean, food spoilage, the way that, you know, the harvesters, the people that go and pick the fruit and the vegetables and stuff like that, the way that they do it, they get paid by the bushel. So the faster they work, the more money they make. So it gives them more incentive. And if you have to, because of bugs or whatever reason, have your robot take 24 seconds a pepper, they're not going to compare to a human, because a human can literally, you know, look at a pepper, instantly recognize, boom, lop the stem, you know, cut it, boom. Just have a knife in hand, you know, knife to the thumb type thing, where they just pop, 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 and dropping them in the baskets. That's how it's traditionally been done. So I don't know how much food spoilage you're going to reduce. I mean, food spoilage is usually more due to external circumstances beyond the field. You know, transportation, weather, you know, things like that. Those Sweeper still need some work. The team expects to have a commercial version available in 3 to 5 years. Yeah, and you know what's scary? It's just going to be the beginning. It's just going to be the beginning. Now, you won't see the smaller farms that are still out there. You probably won't see them adopt this, because they can't afford it. And two, being a smaller family-run operation, they're more apt to want to try to have people involved. So they're going to hold out for as long as they can, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they also tend to pay a little bit more, because they at least understand that they need that labor. You know, they're not some big corporate farm go, well, someone will fucking work for it. They don't think like that. So, but anyway, I just wanted to show that, you know, when you have them saying, we need to keep letting these people in to do the jobs that people won't do, they won't even do the jobs. So that's one reason why I wanted to show this article. I also wanted to show where we're going in a few years, because, I mean, you're going to see a lot more of these types of things happening where jobs are getting phased out. Okay, now it's farming. I mean, people said, I remember when I was younger, all right, they said, oh, probably not in your lifetime will you see robots being used in a capacity for farming, you know, for picking and stuff like that. That will always be a heavy labor industry on that note. And they will always need people. Well, not so much anymore. Now you're going to sit there and, you know, just kind of go with the flow, or you're going to go, hey, wait a minute here, you know. I understand, you know, I'm a capitalist, and they have a right to go and do this. But on the same note, look at the reason what's driving the industry to come about. It's the fact of these low wages. And as a capitalist, I understand supply and demand. And you have these corporate farms not wanting to deal with that concept. They want to be able to dictate. They want to be able to control something that they cannot control, which is leading to the development of something that they can control. But anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.